From the Homestead Studios in Santa Clarita, California, this is a Headache Soul production. Welcome to Just the Tip-Sters, America's favorite true crime podcast. I'm your host, Melissa Morgan. With me today is my handsome and talented co-host, Joshua Duct-Taped Bevan.
Duct-taped?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Fixes things, but not permanently.
Yeah, that's, that's true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
You are my duct tape.
Duct tape and baling wire. That's my...
Yeah.
And shoe goo.
Yeah, I didn't even know that existed till you.
Yeah.
So,
Duct tape, baling wire, and because I'm from California, I've added shoe goo to the mix.
Is that a California thing?
I don't know. It's a skater thing, I think.
Oh, that makes sense.
Which is
I know you used
California
it for
thing.
Wesley's like athletic cleats or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it is a regional thing, but it's like a rubber cement kind of
made specially for shoes
product for shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would come in handy if one were into that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. And skaters tear up their shoes, and that's why I think it's more of a skater thing.
Does everyone who uses a skateboard wear Vans, or is that
not necessarily specifically, but I mean, there's lots of skater shoes. There's some people like the kind of really fat moon boot kind of
no kidding
thick skater shoes,
like to protect their ankles or something, or feet, or
you're using your feet a lot and you're kicking your board a lot,
like your core or something.
Well, okay, but when you're actually doing tricks, you are
using your feet. I can see
you're kind of like tapping your board, and so.
Got it.
That sponginess, I think some people really like that. And then some people like kind of the more, I don't know, barefootish feel of Vans.
Vans, yeah, they are pretty thinnish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really care because I know I would kill myself immediately, even wearing a helmet.
Yeah, I have multiple times.
Killed yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you just lay on the ground and go,
cry?
Oh, I'm dead.
Are you resurrected? You're very good. I live here. I live on the pavement.
Because you don't want to move and find out if it broke.
Yeah, if there's a bone sticking out somewhere. Yeah. Did you ever wear a helmet?
No.
Yeah, of course not. That's for sissies.
That wasn't ever a thing.
No. Really?
I mean, I think I also was never extreme.
Safety conscious? Yeah. Oh, no, something else. Okay, extreme.
Yeah. I was kind of on the fringes of the skater community. I just learned some stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, I skateboard for just for transportation. That was really all I'd ever skateboarded.
Yeah.
I didn't do tricks. I mean, I could ollie up a curb, but that was just because then I could get there faster.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was all.
Yeah, I have great respect.
And they don't give DWIs for being drunk on a skateboard.
Do they give DWIs for bicycles?
Well, okay, I should say.
Have a question.
At least in Long Beach when I was in school, they didn't.
Okay, for bicycles
for bicycles or skateboards. Okay. I mean, it was.
I think that might still be true.
I think you probably.
I went out on a couple dates with an alcoholic that I didn't know was an alcoholic, and he rode his bike to our coffee date.
Yeah,
which he lived close by. So, but I got a sense that. Oh, I mean, I kept looking for an ankle monitor. He didn't have one, but maybe he just had on really like baggy jeans or something. I couldn't see it.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a cheery discussion. Head injuries and alcoholics. The Melissa and Joshua show.
Duct tape, baling wire, and shoe glue.
Yeah, and alcoholics and head injuries. Yeah. We got to shorten the title, but I think we got a side hustle.
This is our brand new podcast.
Our side hustle. Yeah. So just so you know, I know you'll be shocked. I have managed to shut down many computers at College of the Canyons last night.
No, I'm not shocked at all.
We got to go early. Well, it's been habitual. Sure. I'm in criminal statistics class, which I hate with a white hot passion. And we have to transfer quite a few things into Excel. By the way, you cursed me because several weeks ago you said, "Oh, are you learning about pivot tables?" And I was like, "No." And then last night, fuck you, Joshua. Fuck you all to hell. So yeah. Pivot tables.
Pivot tables.
That is my new version of the devil.
Yeah.
So my computer that I sat at, because I believe I explained I was not going to take my MacBook Pro because everything we used to record is hooked up to it. And we know what would happen. I'd take it there and it would catch fire.
Right.
So I went into debt, which blessedly, it's a zero interest credit card for a year to get a iPad Air.
Okay.
So I could take something portable. And that really doesn't work.
Oh, no.
I didn't get the iPad Pro because that was like $1,200. The iPad Air is like $550.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I got, so they said, at the Apple store, they're like, oh, it's typically 6 months, same as cash. And I'm like, okay. So I used my Apple credit card thinking at least I'll have time to pay it off. And he goes, oh, for some reason you got 12 months. I'm like, yes, I did. So I got 12 months to pay.
Well, that's cool. You broke it in a good way.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
yeah. I didn't consider that broken, but now I see your point. I see where you're going.
Bank error in your favor.
Yeah, it did work out. He was shocked and I was like thrilled to death. So several times in this class, and the teacher is just a lovely human being. She is a special agent with the Department of Justice.
Okay.
And she had been a crime analyst for Homeland Security. Cool. She's done quite a few things, and she's very young. I think she's very smart. So she has come over a couple of times and very patient, which is the perfect thing for a teacher, and tried to figure out why my computer doesn't do anything like anyone else's. Right. And you get tired of saying it's me. Yeah, it's not, it's me. So now she who is extremely patient comes over and just will say, can I take your mouse? I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. Right. So she's like, ring, 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 ring. And then she's like, I don't know why is it doing this? And I'm just like, I'm not gonna suggest anything ever again. I'm not gonna tell her it's me. So I told you that my sweet friend Mary, who sits next to me, is like, my computer's fucking up. And hers isn't a school one. Hers is her personal laptop. So last night was super bad. It started with me, where it would just spin. Oh, geez. And then it wouldn't let me get out of anything, wouldn't let me cancel or X out.
Oh, no.
And the professor comes over and tries to help me. And she's like, why won't it let you? And I'm like, I don't know. So we control alt deleted, just. Right. And then Mary next to me is like, my computer's frozen. No. It's frozen. No. And I go, oh, no. And she goes, it's you, isn't it? I'm like, I'm sorry, Mary. I adore you. And then it spread throughout the class.
Oh, boy.
So we got to leave 15 minutes early because Melissa blew up all the computers.
Yeah, okay.
Well, not on purpose.
Good job.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus.
No one's going to hire me because the word's going to get out.
Well, you probably shouldn't be saying it on the air then.
I probably shouldn't, should I? But I just, I share everything. No. I'm an oversharer. Yeah.
Well, your power's growing.
In the wrong way.
They are going to hire you because eventually...
because of the robot overlords.
Yeah. These agencies are going to need to fight
and put me out, put me on the street. Yeah. They're gonna turn me out.
They're gonna exactly.
Yeah. It's like, get her out there.
Special agent
Morgan, who's gonna make all the robots, like melt or something. Yeah. All right. At least I have something to do.
Yeah. You're just going to walk up. Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me.
Can I try and do a pivot table?
Yeah, really. Let's talk pivot tables.
And then,
it just like powers down and then it's...
Bam! and it just falls.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift.
Yeah.
All right. So I have to thank Kathleen and SPS008 from Kentucky for their lovely reviews. They're trying to combat the crazy person who sends her minions, which are two, out to, defame me. It's so sad. So I got one shitty one from Canada. So thank you to Kathleen and SPS008 and fuck you to Canada for that, shitty. It's still going back to the Joanne Matuk episode. I don't know.
Oh, specifically?
Yeah, specifically. And it's like, you're so sad. It's so sad. But anyway, there's so much going on. And I know I've mentioned it and I don't need to whine on about so much going on in the true crime podcast world. I just ask you to choose wisely, pay attention to who you're listening to. And, hopefully they vet their information as well as you vet who you're listening to,
Right.
because it's a weird world out there, kids. And I'm so grateful, like I said, for these kind reviews who mentioned you and, you and I together. And that, I think Kathleen said your hard work has not gone unnoticed. So
I agree.
yeah, that's the kind of beautiful thing you want to hear.
Right.
So if you're enjoying the content in this podcast, please consider giving us a review or a rating on Apple Podcasts. You can follow the podcast so you get any new episodes immediately. And thank you to those of you who have already, submitted reviews. We appreciate you. Apparently that's how they find us. That's how people find us. So
yeah, definitely. Thank you. And that is how the cream rises to the top. I mean, I know I walk in and I can see how hard you work and how hard you make sure to fact check everything.
I really do.
And make sure that the information you're putting out is as accurate as you can and dig as deep as you can.
Thank you.
And I'm sure there are others out there who
absolutely
do a great job.
There
also.
are. And do I make mistakes? Sure, I'm a human being, but I try to at least, vet it 2 different ways before it comes out of my mouth. So when someone's just like, you're fucking it all up and you got it all wrong, and it gets so, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. Like that's the good reviews are the way that other people will know that, oh yeah, this is somebody who didn't just read one story in front of a microphone and all of a sudden, no, you spend hours and hours, and I can tell, and
thank you.
I see it, and I know all of the listeners can tell too.
Thank you. That means a lot to me, my friend. I am very grateful. Very grateful to you. So I'm very excited about our sponsor, Magic Mind. I have been taking my Magic Mind elixir shots for a month now, and it's become habit. I don't even think about it. I just drink it first thing in the morning. You don't have to do it like I do. You can do it in the afternoon if you need a pick-me-up, but I sure do love my first thing in the morning, and then it goes great with my Mountain Dew Kickstart. And I love their directions. Shake, breathe, drink. That's pretty good. And it's filled with so much wonderful stuff for you, like adaptogens and nootropic vitamins and things I can't pronounce correctly, but it helps with cognition. It helps with energy. And somehow, even though it's helping you with energy, it helps you stress less. I am just in love with it. It's got turmeric, vitamin C, vitamin D, ashwagandha. It's, cordyceps mushrooms, which is not like microdosing. So stop it right now.
No,
I'm just saying.
Okay. Fair.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah. I'm just saying Magic Mind is a really delicious little shot that you can take every day it just makes such a huge difference in my world. I don't want to pass out in the afternoon anymore.
Right.
I don't get that slump. It is keeping me. Yeah, it's keeping me. I got some weird news this morning from a friend, and I was scared that it was going to be really bad, but everything is going to be okay. And I normally would just be like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But I, calm my butt down. And I think it's because of Magic Mind. So yeah. I'm very, very delighted with them. So if you go to magicmind.com and the promo code area, if you put Tip-Sters 20, you get 20% off. And if you have any questions, you can always email me, because I can tell you the difference it's made in my life. I have, a couple of goofy autoimmune issues that make me feel as if, the marrow has been sucked out of my bones. And I'm just really grateful for Magic Mind. So there's that.
Good.
Yeah. So this case is really weird. I warned our wonderful editor, Matthew, that this one's different. I don't like period pieces. Like I didn't like old-fashioned movies, and I have a little trouble watching Bridgerton.
Costume drama?
Yes, I have trouble watching Bridgerton, except that it's softcore porn, and I just wait till they get to the fucking, and then I'm okay with it.
Fast forward to the story bit?
A little bit. Yeah, it's just a lot of fucking.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Which is fine. And pretty clothes. It's fucking in pretty clothes. So yeah, I don't like costume dramas. Thank you. I don't like period pieces at all.
I actually just learned that's kind of a mean term.
Yes.
Like costume drama. I always just thought it was a category of a thing. And
well,
I think people who make them are not
happy about
that being
nickname.
labeled.
Yeah. I don't like old timey things, mostly because I feel like we don't have a chance to actually get a case solved. We can look back, but when it's been, 124 years, 1900, it's more difficult.
Sure.
And I don't know that there's ever going to be an answer to this, but it was so fascinating. And the theories about what actually happened were the reason I wanted to cover it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to remember who sent it to me. It feels like, I don't think it was Suzanne, but there's like a Suzanne connection because she ordered a couple of art projects to work on, and they are lighthouses. And this is about a lighthouse on an island off of Scotland.
Oh, all right.
And 3 lighthouse keepers disappeared.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, in December of 1900.
Okay, weird.
It's super weird and super beautiful. I've told Joshua that I don't know that I'm going to pronounce everything correctly because it's a lot of Scottish stuff.
Okay.
And I don't know that I can reach back into my DNA and get it. But, I'm actually Welsh, but they talk more weird than Scots. Yeah. So it is the Flannan Isle mystery, Flannan. And it's actually, I've heard it pronounced 2 different ways, Eileen Moore and Elin Moore. And it's Eilean Mor with like an umlaut over the O.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I know. It's like, I don't know. But so I've heard it as Eileen Moore and Elin Moore.
Is that a man's name or a woman's name?
No, it's just like Moore is like the Moors.
Oh, okay.
But it's only 1 O.
Got it.
And it's just the name of the island.
That's the name of the island.
Yeah. I know it sounds like, come on, Eileen, but it's not. No, it's Eilean.
Okay. Is that
Elin or so an American
island? Is that the name?
Yes.
Is that the word for the kind of land it is?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So a Scottish person said Elin, and an American person said Eileen. So
okay, and I'm sure it's more specific than just the word island,
right?
But it's
right. It's this lovely, like, sort of group of islands off of Scotland. But there's I didn't understand. I guess I always think of lighthouses as being like in Hallmark movies or something. Like they really actually have a purpose.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They actually have a purpose. And I feel a little ignorant. And especially when I hear about this one, which was built and completed in 1899 and is still standing and went through apparently this very large storm. There's like a debate whether this storm actually could have been big enough to sweep these 3 men out to sea, if that was even a thing. I mean, it's fascinating, but no matter what happened, the lighthouse is still standing.
Okay.
Yeah. So December, and it's going to be hard to narrow it down. December 15th of 1900.
Okay.
It's a fascinating kind of job. 3 keepers of the lighthouse light it at night for ships to stay away from the rocks. Right. And they each have to take a shift.
Okay. So they each, all 3 of them work in the one lighthouse.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a little like cottage off to the side. I don't know if they all live there, but I feel like you can kind of go back and forth. Okay. There's certain provisions in one area and then certain provisions in the lighthouse. Okay. So, and it's, Scotland, December, cold, choppy waters. Okay. I have some pictures that are fascinating. When you see the steps, like, so ships would, come to the landing, which is almost non-existent. And there's 160 steps up to the lighthouse. Wow. And Joshua, they're like this.
Oh man. Okay.
They are vertical.
Wow.
They're white stone. To me, you're walking and it's like, don't look back, because you would just fall right into the ocean.
Wow.
It's totally fascinating, but their steps are still the same. They're still there. I would crawl up them. Sure. Like holding on to each one just so I wouldn't go backward. It just looks so like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not creating a scene for you.
Yeah. my height's kind of falling.
You're getting vertigo right now. You're like, I'm going to throw up, and you're sitting right in an office chair. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty interesting. I mean, what happened. So they think it was around the 15th, and they're going on a couple different things. One is that a ship had moored and no one was there. The lights were not on the 15th.
Okay.
The light at night was not on. And this person, ship captain, couldn't find anyone and was like, well, it's weird, but no one's here. So I'm going to leave. And they were going from Philadelphia to Leith, Scotland, Leith.
Okay. And that's on the mainland.
Yes.
Okay.
So it took
main islands of Scotland.
Yeah. So it took them from the 15th to the 26th. No, wait, 25th, because the 26th, another person came to look. But so they reported it to like a maritime authority. Like, look, there was it wasn't lit. So probably in a 9-day period.
Right.
And I'll tell you why they think it happened the day that this ship captain docked, because there were still things going on that they had taken care of during the day.
Okay.
And then we'll get into some theories as to what really happened.
Okay.
I know, it's super creepy weird. So it could have been wind. It could have been this big storm. There's like logs, like, captain's log, star date, whatever. And it's like there was a big storm coming, and there was a storm, but all of this is just so like strange. So the 15th of December, a ship is like, hey, what's going on? There's no lights. They make it to their destination and they report it like, hey, there was no light and no one was around, and we don't know what's going on. And the captain who had hired these 3 men, James Ducat, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur. So they rotated, like keeping the light, burning. And then there was a 4th man who was on shore. And when they rotated out, he would rotate in. They would get a break.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe once a week or something.
Got it.
So there were always 3 men. And if something happened, 2 of them can leave, but one of them always had to stay there, which is another interesting thing, a theory about what could have happened.
Oh.
So the Hesperus, which was a pretty famous ship, is the ship that landed and said, hey, there's no flag on the flagpole. There's none of the usual provisions that we leave on the landing for restocking. Like, they would leave them provisions and then they would leave the empty boxes, like recycling.
Got it.
And there were no, none of the containers. This captain, his name was Jim Harvey. He tried to blow the ship's whistle and he fired a flare and no answer.
Okay.
No answer. So he keeps going and he, is like, well, I'm going to have to report this. So he reports it when he gets to the Northern Lighthouse Board and says, hey, there's something going on and there's no one there. And the Robert Muirhead, who was the superintendent of the Northern Lighthouse Board, said, I know all of those 3 men. I've recruited them personally for this job. I'm going out. So on December 29th, he goes out and gets to the island and he is like, I don't know what's going on. There's the lamps have been cleaned and refilled, but they were not lit. Their beds were unmade. It looks like the table was set and they had eaten a meal, but there was like bread and meat still on the table.
Wow.
Like they had been maybe interrupted in the middle of their lunch. Now there was reports that a chair on the table had been knocked over, but that was erroneous. As you can imagine, in 1900, when there's something big like this, people go out of their mind, and it's like, TMZ,
right.
They have to like gossip about shit.
Right.
So that did not happen. And there were actually even some log entries that they found out later on had been faked.
Oh,
yeah. Interesting. And I'll read that to you later, but yeah. So Jim Harvey is like, I don't know what's going on. I need some help here. And that was December 26th. And by December 29th, it's like, we need an investigation. I, found evidence that they had been on duty until dinner time on Saturday the 15th. They had gone down to secure a box to get provisions with mooring ropes and landing ropes, and something like his like description was an extra large sea rushed up the face of the rocks where they were, gone over top of them, with immense force, and swept them away.
Huh.
Now, that's an easy explanation.
Sure.
However, looking back at logs, there was no storm on the 13th, 14th, 15th, or 16th.
Okay.
Right. Interesting, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
So the sad thing is, James Ducat left a wife and 4 children. MacArthur left a wife and 2 children. And the other dude, whose name I will forget, Marshall, was single, but he was kind of known as a troublemaker who got into bar fights all the time.
Oh.
So there are apparently some notes that it was like getting cold, and they were like writing things down in the log. I don't know if this is a real entry or if this turned out to be a fake one, but in an entry it said Marshall was crying. The guy who's kind of a bar fighter.
Yeah.
Crying. Which would be, these are 3 skilled, experienced sailors.
Why?
Maybe
Why
he's
does that
drunk.
go into a log? Yeah.
Maybe he's drunk.
He's drunk.
Maybe he's mentally, off.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are definitely some theories.
Okay.
And there are books, and there was a movie which I didn't see. It just feels like the name it's called The Vanishing, and it's about this.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably a bunch of books named The Vanishing.
Sure.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So there are, rumors, and I don't know what has actually been proven. There's a book actually called The Lighthouse, The Mystery of the Elian Moore. And the author's name is Keith McCloskey, McCloskey. And he has been on several interview shows, and he seems really like dialed into what he thinks happens. But there was a log that said Marshall was on December 12th, said there's severe winds, which I have never seen before in my 20 years. And then it's like, James Ducat is really quiet, and so is Donald MacArthur. And, it's the strangest thing. Like, why would they be writing down their mental?
That's what I was wondering. Is that like a regular thing to put in logs?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So the log entries on December 13th said that there was a storm that was raging, and all 3 men were praying. Right. And then on December 14th, it said, storm ended, sea calm, God is over all. Now, there was an investigation by the Fortean Times who said those logbooks are fictional.
Oh, just
yeah, that
completely
was
made up.
Right. So whether, there was a fight and one person hit somebody else and then, pushed them both in and then killed themselves, that's one.
Sure. Okay.
I know it's sort of super weird. And you can't believe all of the things that have been done to talk about this case. Like, there's an episode of Doctor Who called The Horror at Fang Rock. There's a composer named Peter Maxwell Davies wrote a chamber opera called The Lighthouse. The rock group Genesis wrote The Mystery at Flannan Isle Lighthouse. Now, this is the best part. It's going to be really good. They wrote it in 1968 when they're working on their first album, but it wasn't released until 1998 in their archive. So it's probably really bad.
So really, really
my guess.
Deep Genesis.
Yeah, what I was thinking? It's like a shitty version of The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. They're trying to take over, Gordon Lightfoot or whatever. I am sweating like a whore in church. I'm dying.
Are you nervous because of the case?
No, I'm nervous because of your dick. It's talking about your dick all the time. That's it. Yeah, you're under the fan.
Have I told you about my Genesis cover band?
Oh, I thought you were going to say about my dick.
No.
Oh my God. Okay, do I need to pause this or do we need to add it?
I don't know.
Okay, please.
I don't know.
Okay, please tell me. Is it called Exodus?
Is that the name of it?
No, it's a joke. That's the last book of the Bible. Genesis is the first one.
Exodus.
I was just being an asshole.
I like it.
All right, what's your band's name? Go ahead.
No. It's not my band.
Not your band. The band. Oh God. Okay.
In college, I was dating a girl, and her like best friend was like super into this dude who had a Genesis cover band, and I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go. So the three of us are going to go. Like, okay, I like some of the.
That's kind of you.
I like some Genesis songs. Like it's not going to be the greatest night, but whatever. Like they've got some good hit. No hits.
They just did deep covers or whatever?
Deep covers that I had never heard in my entire life.
So what is it about cover bands that do that?
What are you guys doing? And like people were shouting, like it's in a bar or whatever.
Right.
People are shouting different songs that they want.
That people have heard of?
That anybody has heard of ever.
Right.
None. Oh
my God.
They only did these, and I probably did this song, this island,
the mystery of Flannan Isle lighthouse.
I probably have heard the song because of it.
From the Genesis archive from 67 to 75.
Yeah. Oh, God.
But it was released in 1998. So my friend Melissa loves cover bands, which I think are just awful. And she went to see a Chicago cover band last week. And guess what their name is? Brass Metropolis.
I like it.
You do?
No.
Okay.
I was
like, are you just trying to be like supportive? Because I laughed for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Brass Metropolis. I mean, it serves a purpose. You figure out that it's Chicago.
Sure.
But still.
Yeah.
If you can't remember the name of this Genesis cover band, I'm going to block you. Come up with the name. Lie. I don't even care. Lie.
What?
The band you went to see with was it called like Genesis 2, chapter 2, verse 7?
You want me to just make something up? No,
it's too late now.
I don't remember.
It's too late. You're fired. It doesn't matter. Okay, so then there was a poem from 1962 called Flannan Isle that recounts the horror of the search party who find an empty lighthouse and no trace of them. There have been a couple of podcasts, but I couldn't find them. One was called Unsolved True Crime on BuzzFeed. Couldn't find it. I don't know if they took it down. There is a book in 2021 by Mark Dawson, Never Let Me Down Again. There's a list of, I can't believe all of this stuff, poems and songs and movies. And and I'd never even heard of this.
Well, I haven't either, but I mean, I guess that.
Well, you're not a real Genesis fan.
Other than the time that I heard
you're not
song.
A real Genesis fan.
No, I'm not.
So here's some speculation I can't wait to tell you about.
Okay.
That on the island was a group of hostile pygmy people.
Okay.
I don't know if they mean leprechauns or...
How big is this island?
Not big.
Okay.
It has been, since the 70s, it has been updated. Okay. There's now a helipad. So in case, there's an emergency or something, it's now, like digitally lit as opposed to, it's not paraffin. What did they use? Like whatever they used in the...
Like whale oil or something.
Yeah, I was going to say in the 1900s. Super weird.
Yeah.
I mean, the Captain Muirhead, who, showed up and he's like, an extra large sea had rushed up on the face of the rock and had swept them completely away. And even Muirhead said, wind was not the cause because the direction of the wind would have pushed them in toward the island instead of out to sea. So it's not the wind. And people have just, been speculating. He issued like the official word. Like obviously waves came up and took them away.
Okay.
That's just it. Bottom line.
They were downstairs. They were on the bottom.
Right. Landing.
Doing
right.
the thing.
Trying to tie down the provisions boxes.
Even though they left in the middle of lunch to go do that.
So here's the other thing. There are multiple reports. Maybe Captain Muirhead was like, everything, the utensils were cleaned. Everything looked, the beds were not made, but everything looked great. And then Captain Harvey, who was the first one there, said it looked like they'd gotten up in the middle of lunch. Okay, here's the other thing. They call it dinner.
Oh, okay. The word dinner, sure,
but it's lunch,
midday.
Yes,
meal. Okay.
And then supper.
Supper
is what we would call dinner.
Meal. Got
yes. It. Okay. So they call it dinner, but it's really lunch. I know I'm trying to confuse everyone. Just,
I get you.
Yeah. So, his official investigation did not make everyone happy. Okay. They were like, I don't think that's it. So it's like, there was a giant sea serpent.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that one you're buying? What the fuck is wrong with you?
No, I'm not buying it. I'm saying here we go into folklore
Loch Ness,
area. Yeah.
Okay, so a giant sea serpent. One theory is that the men were trying to escape the island because they hated their job, and then they got swept away. One theory is that there was a fight that broke out, and one of them killed the other, and then trying to cover up the crime, had to kill the other one, and then jumped off, and killed himself. And it was like, was it, MacArthur who had a short temper? Did he kill them both and throw himself off the cliffs?
Okay.
I know. It's like, oh God.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I imagine it would not be too difficult to get into a tussle and accidentally kill someone.
Yeah, with a bunch of rocks around.
Like,
and in a lighthouse, you could just hit their head on the wall.
Even if you're just like, hey, don't say that about my sister or whatever, and you shove somebody, and then all of a sudden he's on the bottom.
He's dead. Yeah. Or the bottom of the steps, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Good. Yeah.
Like, and then, now what?
Right. Now what do we do?
Sure.
Well, Captain Muirhead was like, I feel bad. I visited the Flannan Islands with relief packages on December 7th, and I have the terrible recollection that I might be the last person to shake hands with them and bid them adieu.
Wow.
I know he's got like survivor's guilt. Yeah. So, was it a big storm? Was it a sea serpent? Was it angry pygmy people? Was it a fight? Was it aliens?
Oh.
That was my theory.
Oh, okay. That's not a standard theory?
No.
All right.
I'm just all up into the alien tip right now because of how I'm tearing up everything in the digital world.
I mean, you'd imagine that if aliens came, a lighthouse would be a good place for them to like be attracted to, right?
Oh.
Because if you're coming down from space and you see like a little circle, because
on the tip of a cliff,
because the lighthouse it's lit and then they use mirrors so it shines out. It kind of does a little spinny deal, isn't it? It's not just stationary, so that would be attractive from above. I'm imagining.
Yeah. Now I'm more invested in my alien theory than anything else. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So, yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. So it's, here's the other thing. I guess you had to wind the clock.
Okay.
You had to wind the clock.
Sure.
So the clock had stopped. It was not wound. There was the lighthouse light was not lit. The flag was not put out. It is kind of interesting. And it's like the box that they would put provisions in or leave the empty box for more provisions to be put in was like dashed on the rocks.
Okay.
At first they didn't think it was set out. It was like, oh, the box isn't here. I'm going to go see where they are. And then they found it. It was like dashed on the rocks.
But that could have happened any time in that week and a half.
Yeah. Like it was 9 or 10 days. You're exactly right. It was kind of a long, time before, no telephones. And it's to me, it's pretty fascinating. Even though they're like, oh, there was no storm on the 13th, 14th, 15th, or 16th, something happened because the iron railings around the lighthouse were bent.
Oh.
Right. There was a iron railing path that had been, put in concrete and rock, and it was weighing more than 1 ton, and that had been wrenched out of the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's kind of interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. So there was obviously some sort of damage, probably aliens, but it could be, it could be a storm.
Sure.
I don't know.
How about mermaids? Anybody talking
They're
about
bitches.
mermaids?
Yes, like sirens.
Yeah.
They're luring men to the rocks and then to kill them, I think.
Yeah.
Down with the patriarchy is what I've always thought that
Sure.
mermaids were about. But I know, first of all, why are men obsessed with mermaids? Because what do you have sex with?
I don't know that people
Just skull fucking?
I don't know men think that far through. I think they're attracted to the singing, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not talking about the singing.
Yeah, but okay.
There's
Are we
no
talking about
place
two
to
different
put-
things though?
there's no
We're talking
place
about
to-
sirens versus
There's no
mermaids.
place to put your penis if you're a mermaid, right? I don't know. I mean, you'll find a place, I'm sure. Fucking weirdos.
Fucking fight,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Weirdo. Whatever.
Fucking mermaid cloaca. It's fine.
They
Doesn't even-
shit out of it. They have babies out of it. They pee out of it. And Joshua puts his penis in it.
Oh God.
Mermaid cloaca. That is my new stripper name. I love it. I am in love with mermaid cloaca. Oh my God.
Oh boy.
What is wrong with you
Oh,
and
God.
me?
Yeah. No, I think. Well, I don't know specifically Scottish, but some mermaids can shapeshift.
Oh, okay.
Like
yeah,
that's
probably
part of
sirens too. That makes
the
sense.
Folklore is that you can
Okay.
get to shore and then have legs, and
Oh, okay. All right.
I think, but I'm not positive.
And probably a vagina.
I mean, imagine, yeah.
Yeah. Of course you would imagine
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Do you know what the national animal for Scotland is?
No, what?
Unicorn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on their flag. It's on their, emblem.
Are there unicorns on the island? Is that
that's
a theory?
Unicorns gored them to death.
Right.
They were like, hey, you got some meat and bread in there.
Right.
Poke, poke. I'm going to push you off a cliff. No, unicorns are good, Joshua. I don't care what you say.
Okay.
You're a bad person. You're a very bad person. So if you want to find out, more about this case, go get the Genesis anthology and listen to the mystery of Flannan Isle Lighthouse.
Or I'll invite you live to listen next time.
And next time that your
playing
favorite Genesis cover band Exodus is
boy.
playing, we're gonna go. We're gonna join Joshua, and we're gonna go.
No.
So look, the lighthouse is still there. Can you see that picture up on the right?
Oh wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah,
though.
it's still there. It's been refurbished, and it's it's still a great lighthouse. It's just the strangest thing that three men just poof,
Yeah.
poofy poof. Yeah.
Yeah.
No sign of them. And I do think it's fascinating that Captain Muirhead was like, it's not wind, because the direction of the wind, it would have blown them back toward the rock.
Sure.
We would have found them dashed on the rocks or something. But no, they're just gonzo.
Okay, but if they got dashed onto the rocks and then another wave swept them away, I mean, that's not. I don't know that you can completely disregard that theory if you're coming to investigate a week and a half later.
Yeah. I hate it when you're rational.
I mean,
I really wanted to believe it was aliens and stuff. I mean, I hate it when you're rational. Why do you have to ruin everything for me?
Well, I don't know. I think the thing that I'm kind of hung up on is I don't know. Pygmies, yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know how much you would put your associate's mental state in the log. Well, if that
is a true log entry, because some of the log entries were proven to be fake.
Okay. So
like a lot of the God is all at work, or God is. I mean, it's like other people wrote that.
Yeah.
And there is a really interesting cave carved into the rocks that a monk used to go in there to pray. That was his quiet cave. So there was a theory that they had hidden in the cave to ride out the storm
Okay.
but the storm came up even that far and washed them out of the cave.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's all hearsay,
Sure.
which is why I hate old cases. There's no, real true evidence. There's, the account of men who had no reason to lie,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Jim Harvey showed up and killed them all.
Oh, yeah. When he
because they had really good meat and bread. And then he, spends like 10 days going to, Leith from Philadelphia. And he's like, hey, it's weird. This lighthouse is empty. And he belches because he's had too much meat and bread.
Maybe.
Here I am pointing the finger at a poor guy who can't defend himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because he's long dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. There's
unicorn,
it could be
pygmy,
unicorn,
alien, sea serpent, fight.
Well, you sea serpent or what are those, like a giant squid? Isn't there
now
ones,
you've
like
gone too
the
far.
kraken? The kraken, that's
you're a kraken. Now you've gone too far.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when you bring in giant squids, we're done.
Okay.
We're done here. So that's the mystery of the Flannan Isle disappearances. And I do think it's pretty fascinating. If you have a theory, and there are a lot of theories, there's even a theory that they wanted to get away from the island and start a new life. And then they left, and then the storm, took them while they're on the water. But it's like, apparently the two that were married were happily married. Wouldn't have a reason. Like, can you imagine all three people having like a what's it called? Stockholm syndrome. Like, yeah, we should just start our lives over.
Sure.
Like, it just doesn't seem like that would be.
Well, the single guy would probably be easy to convince.
Oh my God. Why did I say anything? Because now you're going to give me all the details of my theory.
It's
not my theory. Someone else's theory.
Sure. I mean, I guess that would be, you could just up and disappear at that point easily, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't think you'd have to maybe you would have to get on a boat.
Everybody just rows away. You start anew in a different town. And I mean,
but three people would have to have the same mindset.
You got to have a lot of trust in your other two guys.
Right.
That they're never going to go back.
Yeah.
They're never going to miss their kids.
Right. Yeah. I'm going back with sea serpent.
Yeah, I think that's much more likely.
Pygmy.
Yeah.
Or alien.
A pygmy riding an alien.
No. A pygmy alien riding a unicorn.
That's it.
That's it. Now we've got it.
Right.
Whew, okay. You are welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. I'm done. We're done. If you have a tip on a missing person or unsolved homicide, or just want to suggest a case, please give us a call at 832-TIPSTER. That's 832-847-7837. You can always email us at jttipsters@gmail.com. You can find us on any of the social media platforms, just the Tipsters Facebook page, at JT-Tipsters on Instagram, at JT-TipstersPod on Twitter, and more cowbell.
If you would like to support this podcast and get early access and other cool murderous swag, go to patreon.com/justthetipsters.